So, what's the one thing that can take a user test from a total waste of time to a source of absolutely game changing insights? Well, it all comes down to one word: preparation. Today, we're going to dig into how to nail that prep so you can turn those frustrating errors into some seriously powerful insights.
So let's just start with the big question right here. What is the number one reason user tests completely flop? It's probably not what you think. It's not usually a bad design or an uncooperative user. Nope. More often than not, it boils down to one simple, avoidable thing: a lack of preparation. Okay, so let's dive into what that actually looks like when testing goes wrong. And yeah, it's a scene that I'm betting a lot of you have lived through. And it's not pretty. So look at this. It really paints a perfect picture of the two roads you can go down, right? On one side, you've got total chaos. That's your unprepared test. We're talking broken screens, dead ends, a flow that makes zero sense. It's just a massive waste of time for everyone involved. But then you look at the other side. That's where we want to be: a smooth experience, which leads to crystal clear feedback and those rich insights we're all after. And this, right here, this is the heart of the issue. The moment a user hits a technical glitch, the whole test just shifts. It stops being about usability and turns into a bug hunt. All of a sudden, you're not talking about whether they understood the button's purpose, you're just talking about why the button is broken. Two totally different and way less valuable conversations. Okay, so how do we dodge that chaotic mess? Well, it all comes down to building a solid foundation for success, and that's exactly what we're jumping into right now. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. User-centered design isn't just about the shiny final product. It's about the process. And a really thoughtful, well-planned process, that's what lets you get inside your users' heads and truly understand them. All right, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what we're even doing here. A usability evaluation, it's not just a casual chat where you ask, "So, do you like it?" No way. As you can see, it's a structured process. Our job is to observe, to watch how real people interact with our prototype so we can find those hidden tripwires and pain points. And that's the absolute key, right? We're after genuine behavior. We want to see if a user hesitates, if they get confused, or if they fly through a task because the design is intuitive, not because they ran into a broken link. Good prep basically creates this clean, controlled environment where that authentic user reaction can actually happen. Okay, we've talked a lot about the why. Now let's get into the how. I want you to think of this next part as your pre-flight checklist, the stuff you absolutely have to do before you hit launch on any user test. And it really comes down to these three simple but super powerful steps. First step, refine the prototype. This isn't optional. You got to click through every single flow. Fix the little annoyances, make sure your screens are organized logically. Step two, finalize the plan. You need to know exactly what you're trying to learn. Define those objectives, write out your instructions crystal clear. And number three, and this is a big one, rehearse. Do a full dry run of the test. Trust me, you'll catch things you never would have seen otherwise. And that idea of making the prototype predictable, oh, that's huge. When a user clicks a button, it has to do what they expect it to do every time. That consistency is what builds trust and lets the user actually get lost in the experience you're testing. If things are breaking, they're not focused on the task. They're focused on your broken prototype. Okay, so you do all that work. You follow the checklist. Now what? Well, now you get to the best part, the payoff. This is where you start unlocking those genuine, game-changing insights that are going to shape your whole project. This really is the big transformation. All that prep work lets you completely shift the conversation. You stop being a tech support person fixing a broken machine on the fly, and you become a researcher who's actually understanding human behavior. You can finally get to the why behind what your users are doing. And the difference this makes, it's not small. It is absolutely staggering. Just look at this chart. Look at the huge jump in the quality of feedback you get. An unprepared test, yeah, you might get a couple useful comments. But a prepared test, you are walking away with a goldmine of high-quality, actionable info you can actually build on with confidence. So what does that all boil down to? The takeaways here are super clear. You're going to walk away with much richer insights. You'll get to see how users genuinely behave. You receive high-quality feedback that you can actually trust, and all of that, it's the fuel you need to inform the next smarter phase of your design. So, I'm going to leave you with this thought.
That next great insight, that aha moment that's going to take your project to the next level, it's out there. It's waiting for you. The real question is, are you prepared to go find it?